Fire and Ice presents Transformation of Our Natural Tresses, Volume 3, featuring Tawana Hughes, a leading hairstylist in the entertainment and beauty industries. Tawana has styled for recording artists The Nappy Roots and Def Jam artist FYI. Her TV credits include My Sweet 16, Welcome to Dreamland, the BET Award Show, and the April 2009 spread for Upscale magazine.
Hi, my name is Tawana Hughes, and this is Volume 3. Fire and Ice presents the transformation of the natural tresses. And what I'm doing is a transformation on my client today, and what she's going through is a process called a silkening process. With the silkening process, my client will experience the body volume machine that all natural women want to experience at least once or twice a year. So I'm going to begin. With this process, I'm also making sure I'm cocktailing my products, which with my conditioners, I make sure I use different blends of conditioners, making sure everything is getting the outer area and also the inner area, the cortex, depending on the texture that the client actually has. Usually with overly curly hair, you have to make sure that the conditioning agents have a lot of saturation in it, due to the fact that natural hair is a very drying texture. So you want to make sure everything is being moisturized all the way from root to tip, and all over the hair, the back of the nape area, making sure that crown is very saturated in the inner cortex of the hair, and making sure the perimeter part is saturated as well. Now, this process also calls for what you call the hydration part, and what you want to make sure you're doing is hydrating the client's hair with this particular machine. So what I'm going to do is now make sure I put a cap on my client. And take her over to the hydration machine area. Depending on the texture of hair, I usually hydrate my clients for about 15 to 20 minutes under this process, and this actual process is called the hydration process. After the procedure of putting the client under hydration, I've rinsed the client out, and as you can see, her hair is totally natural. With this process, you want to make sure that you have a great foundation. So with that foundation, you want to make sure you have a great type of product. Products are key to the whole complete service. So what you want to make sure is that you actually spray the hair down with some type of product, foundation that you're going to use. I prefer to use Design Essential H2O or Mazzani leave-in conditioner. Okay, so then I'm going to actually go in and part my client's hair in 4 sections. As I'm going in, and parting the client's hair in 4 sections allow you to actually go into the hair from root to tip, due to the fact that my client has very overly curly hair. So what I want to make sure I'm doing is actually getting from root to tip. So with doing that, I'm going to section the hair off. Okay, 4 sections. And then I'm going to actually go inside, starting at the bottom, making sure the actual foundation agent is completely on the hair. Making sure I take the hair from the nape of the hair and bringing everything down. Going from the nape to the actual crown, combing the hair out. The foundation is what actually saturates the hair and allows you to comb through the hair without breaking any of the client's hair, without making the client scream. No, but it actually allows you to go through the hair and it softens the hair. And one thing about combing through the hair, natural hair, is a different texture, so therefore it's coarse, and you want to make sure that you're getting every particle of the hair completely untangled. So you want to make sure the tangles are completely out. So that's why I suggest you start from the nape to the crown area, combing the hair at the ends, then going in the root very carefully, making sure you're getting all the tangles out and making sure that all those areas are totally detangled, so that once you go into your blow drying technique, the hair is completely combed out and it won't be any tangles. Making sure everything is complete, then wrapping that hair back around and clipping everything. Going to the next section, you want to do the same identical thing, making sure everything is really saturated so that you can go through each section at a time. It's not good to go through the whole complete head without sectioning the natural strands. So you want to make sure you section your natural strands of hair in 4 sections, starting from the nape, working your way up to the crown, actually getting every tangle. Now, this is the next part of my process. I'm going in and I'm actually going to do the drying process. And with the drying process, you want to make sure you use the correct tools. I actually use the FHI 2000 blow dryer, which actually has a great power to pull the natural tresses all the way completely out from the root to the tip. And I also use a brush versus a comb. So this process, it usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes to go through a whole head of hair completely and straighten the tresses out. Inside of the cortex of the hair, you want to make sure you're marrying that brush with that dryer. It's called the marriage between the brush and the dryer technique. You want to go in and make sure everything is completely dry from root to tip. You want to make sure that you're actually taking that hair from that root to that tip, bringing everything down at an angle. You want to take that actual hair out of natural fall, making sure you're going in the inner cortex as well, making sure you're straightening every angle and every area out completely. You want to actually bring that shine into that hair without using a lot of product. I use little to no product when I'm doing my silkening process. I actually bring out that natural shine in that hair by using my brush and my dryer. This is part of the technique. You want to make sure everything is coming together. It's a whole process. It's not just one area. One thing can't work without the other. So you want to make sure that you're bringing that hair out of natural fall, marrying that brush to that drying technique, making sure everything has its place before moving over to the next section. Before I'm actually going over to my next section of hair, what I want to do is make sure I'm firmly gripping the hair that's actually completely blow dried out. I want to take that and I want to do it in a twisted motion. Wrap everything up very tight and very neat to secure it. And I want to put my clip back on, go into my next section of hair, doing the same process in the next 3 sections, and then the silkening process will begin. Now with this actual process, this is the silkening process, and what I'm going to do is actually go in with the smallest ceramic iron I have, which is a 4/10, and what I'm doing is making sure that the nape is silked out, and I actually silk my clients out. I use the nape of the neck, so I go from the nape area all the way up to the crown, and what I do is use the smallest ceramic tool I have, which is a 4/10, to silk out my client, making sure everything is even, going using small sections until I get midway. Then I'll use another tool, which is the 1-inch ceramic, but for the crown area I'll use a larger tool. That's why it's so important that you have more than one size ceramic tool. If you see any areas that you want to improve on, you can always go back, but you want to make sure you go to the actual root of the hair, and you want to slowly come down, putting your comb in front of the actual ceramic tool, sliding all the way down, making sure everything is evened out, going up again, doing the same technique, taking it down slow, making sure everything is even and straight. Going on the next part, you want to do the same thing, making sure that that comb is in front of your tool so that hair can flow. As you can see, I didn't use any products in my client's hair whatsoever, but the actual process itself actually brings out the shine and the sheen in the actual hair, along with the moisturizing agents that I used at the bowl, because the whole process, everything starts at the bowl. So cocktailing my moisturizing agents and also my shampooing agents to the actual hair. I want to make sure everything is just flowing, using no products at all, making sure everything is actually straight from the root to the tip, using that comb as your guide, bringing everything down, making sure the hair is straight, showing you that the blend. Then once you get about midway, you use your 1-inch tool. With using that 1-inch tool, you do the same gesture. You want to put that comb in front and bring everything down at a gliding angle. You want to make sure you can glide through the hair. Same way, putting that comb in front, gliding all the way down. Making sure everything is completely straight. Going back in if need be. A lot of times when you do your client's hair, your client is totally relaxed to the point that the client will fall asleep. Like my client is doing. But that's when you know your client actually trusts you with hot ceramic tools. Okay, as you can see, the first side is complete, showing that the hair is totally straight from root to tip. You can see the two different textures of the hair. This is the actual part that was actually blown out from root to tip, and this is the part that was actually done with our silkening process. Once the client is completely silked out during the week, the client can actually just get the perimeter and the nape area silked out midweek. Now, as you can see, my client is ready for her style. This is the last part of my ceramic fusion and hydration therapy. I'm beginning my styling process with using my ceramic irons. I'm choosing to use a larger ceramic iron with this particular process. This is my styling process. So I'm going in with ease, as you can see, making everything flow. And what I'm doing is actually giving my client more volume. And if you choose to use any type of product in this part, you want to use something very light. You want to use a light hold versus anything heavy. Everything I use is actually light. It's very, very light. So I'm going into the hair with something very light. And at the end, I'm going to put a light sheen. Going in, making everything flow. Actually, going in and styling the hair is a very, very easy technique. I'm giving my client a lot more body and a little flow. Sectioning off the hair for me actually allows me to be able to be more time manageable with my style, especially if the client has medium to long hair. Okay. Making sure everything is at a flow. You want everything to flow. giving that hair that body that you're looking for, bringing everything over. I would like to thank you for watching Volume 3, Fire and Ice presents The Transformation of the Natural Tresses. I want to encourage you to check out my library of DVDs at www.starsweavingandreplacement.com. That's www.starsweavingandreplacement.com. Thank you.